Hi everyone. There's two questions that are very often asked by patients when they first encounter mind-body healthcare. So the first question goes like this. So, do you mean that I'm actually causing myself to be ill through my mind? Am I responsible for this? And there's quite a bit of guilt associated with that question. The answer to that is actually no. There's no way you can dissociate mind from body. And so whatever is happening to your mind through circumstances is going to be manifesting through the body. So I'll give you an example just to make myself more clear. I had a patient a few years back who was a little boy at the time of the first earthquake in Christchurch. He would have been about 2, I think. Their house suffered severe damage. It was a dreadful day for all of them and the family. After that child started developing night terrors as well as eczema. A few months went by, the eczema got progressively worse, and then they went through the second earthquake in Christchurch. After that, the eczema got so bad that this child had to be hospitalized multiple times with severe eczema affecting the whole of his skin to the point where sometimes he was even treated in the burn unit. The family decides that they will move out of Christchurch because they're all under terrible psychological stress. The father finds a job in Auckland, they move to Auckland, and a few months later the company is restructured, he gets made redundant. The mother, who was the main caregiver of the child, has to get some work, the child has to go to childcare. You can imagine how the eczema got. So, my question here, is it mind or is it body? Can you see how both are happening at the same time? And did that child actually make the decision to cause himself an illness? Obviously no. This has got nothing to do with decision making, and he's actually not faking a disease to get secondary gains. And the other question that comes from that is, if you had a magic wand, what part of the equation would you try to solve? Would you try to provide this child with a safer environment to live in, or a safer way of being by providing a mother who can be with him all the time and a father who's got a stable job in a city where nothing happens? Probably that. The second question is, so if I engage with mind-body healthcare, does that mean that I will stop taking my medicines? Well, coming back to the little boy, what would you do? Obviously, you're not going to stop medical treatment. It's actually probably life-saving in his case. There's no point in trying to stop medical treatment here. But in saying that, it is very likely that the only way to resolve this child's eczema is by taking care of the psychosocial situation he's going through. Would you agree with me? Okay. So when I get asked the question as to, well, should I stop my medical treatment? And my answer is, well, no. It depends on what you're suffering from. And if it's something mild that you can live with, then maybe you want to try to let go of your medical treatment and just address the psychological. I'll give you a very simple example. When I get a cold, that to me means stop, rest. You really need to stop now. So I do not take any cold medication. I just go to sleep. I cancel work and I go to sleep and I recover. That is what my body is asking me to do. If I take cold medication, I force myself to go to work, then I never get the rest that that my body's asking for, and therefore will force myself to go through the cold, recover. The next cold, I'll probably take cold medication again and go through the same, and I will never rest. And so eventually, I know that I will come up with something worse than a cold. But in saying that, if what you're suffering from is something that is actually either life-threatening or extremely uncomfortable, then by all means do not stop medicine. If you suffer from, say, anaphylaxis, then obviously you shouldn't stop medication whilst you work in the possible mind-body connections that you could be addressing for this case. So I hope that has been useful, and we'll see you soon.